Oh, it's not over yet? Okay. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Things were better then. Thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Let's go make sure. There's someone there. I had to press on. Okay. So I guess I can't follow? Okay. Huge hole torn in. Oop. It's not going there yet. Another dead guy. On the body of a security guard, just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered with blood of some kind, from some kind of head wound. Wondered, was this flashlight his? Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet and now this. I got my watch. I put it on my wrist anyway. And someone's in here. One of the lockers hung open, its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. It's a large power box with 5 lights on it. Metal was starting to wear and the cob was collecting in corners. The box wasn't receiving power. Door was locked. Guess it's connected to the power box. This one's also locked. I should probably read what that was going to say. There's a little electronic box under the handle. Closed for repairs. It says danger, so that's not a good sign. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. Notice the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys in the line. Break table. Power panel, and it was shut off. Push the switch. So I gotta hit him twice. Dirty work clothes and a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. Shut tight. There was a rusty looking card slot. Okay, that's going to be open later. And hastily boarded up. Norman's locker, and the door was dented like someone had punched it. Don't remember him doing that when we worked here. Utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer. Yes. Took the hammer. I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Yes. Slipped the key card in my pocket. That should be all of them, right? I believe so. Maybe he needs the claw hammer to get in here. Okay, yeah. This was my locker there in the factory. It stank of booze and there was a picture of Rachel on the inside. Looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. It's a mess of empty booze bottles. I wonder if that man in the house had something to do with this. Tried a lot of alcohol at his place. Can use the key card in the door over here now. So let's do that. Key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Yes. Some kind of ventilation hatch there, and it looked like a jump to the room below. I like hard enough as was. No. I guess that's if you couldn't figure out the puzzle. What the? Damn it. Okay, I guess I can't get out now. Guess I gotta jump. My leg hurt like hell. It looked fine. Purple of letter on the floor had been scratched out heavily and it was hard to make out. Try to read it. The letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was need to, just don't, drinking, need, Norman. Who was Norman writing to? Stepped out of the factory, glad to be rid of its smell, of its memories. I couldn't stop thinking about that room with the bottles in it. Was that guard I found outside really drinking up there? What about Norman and who had rooted through all those lockers? Couldn't tell where I was as I looked around, but I figured I needed to get to a road to get my bearings. Maybe Norman could help. His store wasn't that far from the turnoff to the factory if I remembered correctly. Notice, I think I'm walking slower with more of a limp. Garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. Greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. Yes. Amazed, but I found my credit card and now this. Tucked the card in my wallet next to my credit card. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Entered Norman's place. It's the back of the store they rang. It's oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. Norman's dead, isn't he? The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. There's a bit of blood on the keyhole. Yep, I think Norman's dead. This guy just went on a killing spree, didn't he? The hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats. It's Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing here? Oh, did Rachel cheat on him? Small and impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. All the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I found seemed to match the others. The gun was Norman's. What the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Should I put it back in the cabinet? I don't know. Trying to think here. No. Somehow I think I might need it. Or it might turn against me somehow. TV still flickered. Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, and one of the few friends I had in this town lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he had been shot trying to get up. His eyes were wide with shock, though they were already dying. Norman What was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? Norman, maybe you deserved better. You probably did. Close his eyes. Not sure if I want to give him peace or I couldn't stand to think about what was going on anymore. Guess this is Norman's kitchen table. Kept it clean enough. There are water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. The trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess. Yeah, I did. Hairpin. Oh, guess I can pick the lock now? Let's go do that then. Hey, Normie. Use the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. General store was small, but it was clean. Had the usual postings. Never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. Register is mostly empty and a fat stack of travel magazines. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. Must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Various postcards from the area. All the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. What had I seen? Norman was dead, but I had no idea why. I didn't know how he could be involved in all this, but the thought of him lying on the floor up there was sickening. The only comfort I had was the gun I still carried. And was it really a comfort or a curse? Rain was coming down hard, but at least I was close to home. It wouldn't be long before I got my answers. He's gonna find Rachel there dead, isn't he? And there's a lot of doors here. A lot. Okay, I guess we'll start with the first one then. Guess hurting my leg lowered my movement speed. Locked. Locked. Right, so can I only... I guess I can't go back. Guess I could only go through that gate. It's locked. The neighborhood's local post box. The letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. Knew it wasn't right, but yeah, I'll look at it. It's addressed to Norman. Stay away, she's mine. That was it. No signature, no other. Oh shit, this guy did kill him. Oh, there was blood out there. Entered our backyard. Was expectant, but also afraid. Never did fix this gate. It was stuck. I wanted to see the blood. Held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. Left the light switch by the door. The power was off. Of course it is, because lighting this up would mean I would lose my glowing hand. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? There's a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long I had been away. Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. I left the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. Oh, she's in the basement, isn't she? Found the last missing piece from my wallet. An old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. Didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Put the photo back in my wallet, feeling like I got part of my whole life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was already too late. It's not even that big of a TV. It looks smaller than mine. I don't have a particularly big TV. What we got over here? The door was stuck shut. Old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. Like an attic. Hallway mirror had been smashed. The laptop had been left on, only a tiny bit of power left. The screenshot was a website about the old water tower. There's a key in the top drawer of my desk. Pocketed the key. Laptop was worn and had been running for a while. The sink would need to be replaced. One of the taps was always stuck, but I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. We're lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I look more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. There's a suitcase on the bed. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from the trip we took out west. Open it. Wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase's contents. Inside were a few days worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket. Checked the date and time and matched the receipt I found back in those horrible sewers. Rachel, who were you running away with? She was running away with Norman, dude. I guess I can't go through there. I guess this key I found's for the basement. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. Garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. Let's take the dirty old key. This is the door upstairs, right? Old clothes and tools that we hadn't thrown out yet. Put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. Grimy key had found the basement and unlocked the door. Looked like the room had been tossed around. Somebody break in here? There's an old crowbar on the floor. Yes. Let's go break down this wall. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes, I did. Heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall, smashed a hole large enough to step through. Stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. Don't look. Filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. Terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. For all the searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Yes. Wrapped within the filthy rags, pale and still, was Rachel. She was covered in fading bruises and what looked like cuts. Her chest was a horrible mess of blood and dirt, and I couldn't bear to look at it. The knife in my boot, the gun in my pocket, were they the tools of her murder? Thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. When I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. My wallet, its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking in. Maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store that forced the water tower. Was I at those places before? Yes. Didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? So the old photo of the other man and his wife, I assume. I found it in that house. I recalled the faded remains I had found deep underneath his house. What had he done there? What would I think? Was that man involved in this mess somehow? Yes, definitely. Those tunnels, the odd tools in his house, the remains of his wife. He wasn't innocent, that's for sure. Then the few broken pieces that remained of the mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. Couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. Reflection that grimy glass is only a shadow, a whisper. Still love the old-time charm of that clawfoot bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. It's the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Let's go with yes. It must have been him. He must have been using the old locker room. Laptop had finally run out of power. What happens if I look at it again? It's the letter I had taken from the post box. Who read it out for Norman? Who sent him that letter? Must have been someone from the neighborhood, or at least somebody wanted it to look that way. Wasn't sure what to think. No way. Norman had ended up dead himself. Whoever sent that threatening letter must have got to him, but who was it? From now on, I have no one to get angry with me for buying stupid things like this TV. Why is this so dark? He went to sleep, didn't he? Our office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. It was a digital passcode on the lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I left it somewhere. I looked through the notebook I'd taken from the forest. Names that were written down. I recalled the names I saw scratched on an old desk, people in those musty tunnels. Was the man in the house really up to something? Was he the one responsible for Rachel's murder? But I had found him dead. Seemed like I'd seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Yes. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. If I wanted to end it, I could do it. I could do it with that gun. Let's pick it up. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back in that room again. I had already seen too much. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand to be in that house a moment longer. I had the gun again and that knife. This wasn't the only way to end this, I knew. Yep, let's go. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped in some way to stay grounded, kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and positive doctor reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. I swear I tried to give it up, I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was the final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I'd remained unconscious in that room forever. It was obvious to me that the man I had found in that house had something to do with all this. Could he have killed Rachel? It's hard to see that there were too many things I had seen to think otherwise. But after making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. Security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I'd been to that forest and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought, that would cover my tracks so I wouldn't be blamed for all this. Deep within those woods, though, was where things became truly awful. Finding that notebook only, um, finding that notebook only made things worse. Rachel's name had been on that list. So what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names back on the desk. I can't read. There was a similar list of names on the desk back in the tunnels. What was the connection? It's clear at least that Norman had been going back to the old plant. Maybe he was the one who boarded up that locker room, who had been drinking up there in that secret hiding place. So he had killed the guard then? He must have. Maybe he was caught, but the guard had caught him on patrol. Damn it, Norman, why? After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. All I found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Damn, Norman, how'd you get mixed up in all this? No, you weren't a perfect man. None of us are, but you didn't deserve this. Maybe whoever had done you in was responsible for the other murders that happened in that town. At the very least, I was convinced you and Rachel were killed by the same person. Sincerely hope you find some peace, my friend. I knew I never would. I marched the rain towards home, desperately clung to the hope this would end. I guess in a way it did. How could I have known how hopeless it all was? I started to feel as disoriented as when I was sleepwalking. Think of it now. I guess I should have known from the terrible signs that greeted me when I first stepped into our house and stood there in the kitchen. There was no sound of television, radio, even the air was still. But seeing Rachel there, lying ruined and discarded in the basement, that was a horror I could never have imagined. Didn't know if I'd ever find the answers I craved, but I knew that somehow that other man I had found was responsible for this. If not directly, he must have had a hand in Rachel's death. So what was I doing in that damned house of his? Had I found out? Had I killed him? My damn condition made it difficult to know. Memories and time frames were always a mess, and I could never be sure. Knowing that man was dead, though, was cold comfort. My wife was gone, and no matter what happened to me now, I was lost forever. I swung open the door and stepped out into the air. I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife. Just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Whom could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, but I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. Huh, it's over. Alright, well, is that it? Is there anything after the credits? Oh, that's a nice smiley face. Put at the end of a horrible, horrible murder story. Like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. Okay, well, that was Home, the unique horror adventure by Benjamin Rivers. That was a pretty cool experience. I wouldn't exactly call it horror, more like, I don't know, I guess horror is an apt description. It felt more like a horror-themed mystery game, but it was still really cool. That was a fun experience. Alright, well, thanks for watching again, guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and comment and share, and go ahead and click that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!